Hi, I'm Jay Leno. I'm here with Ed Piatek. He is chief engineer for Corvette, and this is the first time he has been outside in the last couple of years because he spent his whole life working on this. And boy, what a beautiful job he's done. This is the 2020 Corvette Stingray. Let's get a little closer look. So tell us horsepower, tell us what we got here. It's a mid-engine car, the first mid-engine Corvette ever to reach production. There have been experimental models, of course, right, as you know, but this was sort of Dunthoff's dream. Zora Arkus Dunthoff was the man behind the Corvette in the 50s. He always dreamed of doing a mid-engine car, did some prototypes, but this is the first one to reach full production. So tell us what we have.
Okay, Jay, from a power standpoint, we've got a naturally aspirated V8 engine. It's a Chevy small block. Makes 495 horsepower, 470 pound-feet of torque with the performance exhaust. And we announced 0 to 60 time less than 3 seconds when you get the Z51 package.
And this is the fastest accelerating base engine Corvette ever, isn't it?
Yeah, by quite a substantial margin.
Well, you know,
several tenths of a second.
It's funny because there's two schools of thought. Some people think you should keep making the same thing, and other people just want to improve and come up with something new. And this is a total departure from all the Corvettes that have come before it in every way, where the engine is, weight distribution, the whole deal, isn't it?
Yeah, we would really reach the point with the last generation C7 where the only way to improve upon it was to reinvent it. And that meant really putting more of the mass or the weight on the rear axle. The way you do that is to move the engine to a mid-engine position. So it's a totally new proposition, totally new proportions, and it gives you a huge performance opportunity.
And I don't think there's any mid-engine car I can think of that's less than $180,000. This is $60,000. That's pretty amazing. I mean, you had the MR2 and some of those things, but they weren't in this performance class. When you go to Lamborghini or Ferrari, I mean, you've got that level of horsepower at literally a third of the price, isn't it?
Yeah, but you know, Corvette's always been a dream car, but an attainable dream car. So we really didn't want to price the car like those competitors. It has to be something that people can aspire to own one day. And I think we've been able to deliver that with a starting point below $60,000.
Let's open the hood and show them where the engine is.
Sure.
I love this piece. I think this is probably the biggest single piece on the car. This is all one stamping, because it's all aluminum.
This is actually sheet molded compound or fiberglass.
Oh, it is?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, okay. Very nice. As you can see, the frame is aluminum. That's what I meant.
Right,
to say.
Yeah, all the structure in the car primarily is aluminum. This is the heart of the car. It's an LT2 engine, 6.2 liters.
Right.
And it's made it to an 8-speed dual clutch transmission, which you can't really see. It's right below here.
Well, that's another feature. I love the fact it's a dual clutch transmission, because most cars in this price range have a torque converter, an old-fashioned 4 or 5-speed automatic, whereas this has a dual clutch, much like the much more expensive exotics, and you've got actual luggage space back here.
Yeah, it's pretty rare in this segment to have this kind of utility. We have a front storage that'll take an airline roller bag, but we can store quite a bit of luggage or 2 sets of golf clubs in the back of the car.
Let's show them the interior, because this is really sort of cockpit inspired, you know. If you like aircraft, I think you're going to like the way. Notice, can you see the row of buttons down that radio there? That's just our radio from the show, a two-way walkie-talkie. But I love, you see the row of buttons down there? That's sort of reminiscent of the early Corvette Stingrays that had the radio going straight up and down in the center. And of course, it's all tilted towards the driver. It's very driver focused. And of course, being mid-engine with the engine back here, tall guys can drive this thing because there's no engine in the way. Your feet can go all the way forward, which was not something possible before in a lot of cars like this. Pretty amazing. And the Brembo brakes all the way around.
Right. Yeah, we've got a very large set of brakes. When you have this kind of power and speed capability, you want to make sure you have enough deceleration capability. So we've got a very big wheel tire package and a very big brake package to give you that performance.
And something else that's standard I think is pretty cool is the fact that this whole top lifts off, so it becomes a convertible.
Right. Every coupe actually comes with a removable roof panel, and we've enabled the trunk to have features that will allow you to stow the roof in the trunk.
In the back. All right. Very, and something else new to Corvette. It's a small thing, but it's kind of interesting. almost not quite a square triangle, steering wheel rather, not quite a rectangle, not quite a circle. Take a look and you'll see, but it makes it easier to get in and out of the car because you're not hitting your legs on the steering wheel.
Yeah, certainly a race car inspired wheel, and you square off the bottom to give you a little bit more leg room as you're getting in or out of the car, but we squared the top off as well so you had a really good view of the 12-inch reconfigurable cluster display, and also bring the top of the wheel down to give you that great forward view. In a mid-engine car, you get this command view of the road where you can look right down the hood at the road, and that's really important. If you're on a track and you're trying to clip an apex, you can make the car sort of inch perfect.
And the other nice thing about being sort of, well, the engine, I know the whole driver's compartment seems about what? Maybe a foot, maybe 16 inches closer to the front of the car?
Right. We moved the driver actually 16 inches closer to the front axle, and the benefit there is when you do turn the car, there's an immediacy or responsiveness where you begin to rotate immediately. You don't have the front of the car start moving and then the driver.
Right.
And it gives you a totally different driving perception.
Also, this A-pillar seems way more far forward, because a lot of times with cars, because you have a rollover protection, this works as a roll bar. The A-pillar, a lot of cars, you're doing this as you're going down the road. You're just trying to see if there's a kid on a bicycle in here somewhere, you know. Whereas this, it's enough far forward so I can actually see on either side of it as I'm going down. And of course, you have the hidden door handle under here, which is kind of cool. And as you see, egress, as they say, is pretty easy, because being mid-engine, you've got a lot more room here, so you can literally just step in and fall into the car. So it's really pretty cool.
A lot of the mid-engine cars use sort of a tub execution and carry a lot of the structure through the sill, which makes it hard. You have to step over it and climb into it almost like a gymnast.
Well, let's climb into it and drive off. Let's see how it goes.
All right.
Let's hear what it sounds like. We bad. See you later.